When the midwife got here, she gave me a peanut ball for between my legs and started to try to comfort me and get me to relax. The midwife had me switch from side to side often, which I hated, but I trusted her and knew I had to listen. I was getting no break between contractions, so once one ended and I flipped sides as quickly as I could, I'd be right back to having another contraction. They were trying to figure out the tub situation, and it just wasn't good. It was way too cold. My dad started boiling water in the kitchen just to get the tub warm enough for me, but at the same time, my midwife prepped the bed for birth. I had to get up and they put plastic and extra sheets down. At one point, she said, "We're going to have the baby on the bed." This was all probably around 6 o'clock in the morning. Around this time, my sister also showed up and began taking pictures. When I got back on the bed, they had me on my knees leaning over a birthing ball this time. She had me rock back and forth until onto my ankles and then up again. It hurt, but everything hurt. She asked at one point if she could check me, and I said yes, and she realized when she did that I was fully dilated, but also that the baby's head was stuck on the pubic bone, so she wasn't able to make progress out of the birth canal because she was lodged on the bone. During a contraction, they put a big piece of fabric under and around my belly and then pulled up really hard to try to get the baby's head up and over the bone. They did this for several contractions in a row until successful. This was at like 7:10 a.m. My midwife also noticed during this time that baby was sunny side up. She never told me, but during contractions, she would perform counter pressure and push on my back. She asked me often how my back was feeling, and truthfully, it didn't hurt, thank God. By around 7:15-ish, the tub was ready and my midwife had me stop in the bathroom first to poop. It was the biggest poop ever, and then we went to the tub. I had one contraction on the toilet, and that's when I went to the bathroom. I was hanging onto the towel rack and I ripped it off the wall. I told the midwife I didn't want to get up, and she said, "Is this the kind of water birth you want?" I said no, and she was like, "All right, let's go." I got in the water around 7:23. Once I got in the water, it definitely took the edge off a bit. I was able to hang over the edge for each contraction, which felt better at least. My midwife and husband were trying to get me to keep my voice low and deep when my moaning was getting too loud and I was losing too much energy vocalizing. She also had me sip water, sip my red raspberry leaf tea, and eat my coconut popsicle. She had me kiss my husband in between contractions and move positions frequently in the water as well. While this was happening, Olivia woke up around 7:30, and my parents went in to get her and somehow got her downstairs without seeing or hearing me. They put music on downstairs, and her cousins were dropped off too, since my sister was taking pictures and her husband had to go to work. While in the tub, I felt like it had been forever with no progress, and I was definitely not in the best mind frame, although I was countering negative thoughts with positive ones more often than I did with Olivia. I kept saying, "I don't want to do this anymore, and I need help, and I can't do this." My midwife had me say out loud, "I can do this, and I am strong and capable." Soon I was starting to feel the baby's head descend. I felt frustrated because she'd come down, and then after the contraction was over, I would feel her slip all the way back up again. I told the midwife, and she said it was okay. Each contraction, she was getting further and further down. She kept feeling for the baby's head and noticed the water still hadn't broken. Several times she had me reach down to touch the baby's head too. The water sac was bulging but not broken, and it felt like really thick skin around her head. Soon she was telling me the baby is just making one last turn, then she's going to be here. What I didn't realize was that when the baby went back up, she was rotating to the right position and out of being sunny side up. This would have been a lot more difficult, if not impossible, had the waters already broken. After she turned, I had maybe 2 to 4 more contractions, where the contraction would start and hurt really bad, but I wouldn't push or want to push. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the contraction, I would feel the baby shoot down as if my body was expelling her out. The pressure would be crazy, but it actually felt a lot better than the beginning of the contraction, and I thought maybe this is why people say they like pushing better. Once I felt her trying to be pushed out, then I added my own efforts to push. But it didn't feel too bad or too exhausting to do, like with Olivia, because I was working with my body. My midwife reminded me in between contractions that the ring of fire would hurt, but it would be very short and I could make it through it. During these last few contractions, I actually had long periods of rest. Some felt up to 2 minutes, which was awesome. She told me during my next contraction that she wanted me to look at Andrew's eyes, keep my eyes open, and grunt instead of making loud noises and losing energy. I literally asked them, what does grunting sound like? Because I couldn't figure out what they meant. I did my best to grunt through the next contraction, and I felt a brief moment of fire before it ended, and I stopped pushing to rest again. Her head stayed down that time and didn't slip all the way back up. I knew she was almost out. The next contraction was the same, hard at first, then it felt like my body was trying to shoot her out like a cannon. I felt the ring of fire stronger now and pushed and grunted through it, trying to keep my eyes open and look at Andrew. I felt her head come out and all the pressure end, and a second or two after, I felt the rest of her body just slip right out.
You did it. Oh my God, she's out. You did it.
She's out.
You did it.
Hold on a second. Okay. We're all wrapped in the cord. All right, so I'm going to hand her through your legs towards you,
oh my God, you did
and
it.
pull her up out of the water.
You did it. Look at her. She's so pretty. Oh my God. Look at her. Look at her. You did it.
Pretty much head,
You did it.
head, body, all
You did it. You did it. You did it. Oh my God, she's here. Oh my God, she's so big. She's huge. Baby.
Now, don't be worried, they take a minute to pink up.
We did it. We did it. Oh, we did it. It's over.
Never mind, they don't need that.
It's over. It's over. It's over. We did it.
My midwife told me later that my water broke during that contraction as I pushed her out. It was just one big gush into the world. Essentially, after birth, we waited until the cord stopped pulsing and then delivered the placenta actually on the bed, and everything was normal. There was no hemorrhaging, thank God. I did get some tinctures and some homeopathic medicine for the cramping afterwards, but overall it was a wonderful experience and we really enjoyed it and would do it again, and we are so thankful God answered all of our prayers.
Smash the like button for Kate for having an unmedicated home water birth, as well as for her baby rotating from the OP position during labor. Shoutouts to her Instagram and YouTube, Sweet Home Santana. On Legacy Birth, we share educational birth videos to empower women. Our goal is to get to 21,000 subscribers in 2021. So if you're new to this channel, click that red juicy button down below. Down below, it says subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.